Alright fam, so today I'm here to bring you the In the Flesh book tag. It's an original tag that I came up with help from Kaz over at Cats and Camera. We created it. I did most of the work, but she definitely came up with some of the questions and helped me, so obviously I have to give her some credit. So anyway, the In the Flesh book tag is inspired by the TV show In the Flesh. In the Flesh is a zombie drama that was cut short too soon, and I will never be over it, even though it was canceled in 2015. I'm still not over it, and I will never be over it, and I will hate the BBC forever for canceling it. It's only 9 episodes. It's available on Hulu and Amazon Prime, I believe. You can also buy it on Amazon. Just go watch it if you haven't. It's just really good. Trigger warnings for suicide and PTSD. So if you are triggered by that, maybe don't watch it because it might trigger you, and I wouldn't want that to happen. So I thought I'd throw that out there. But without further ado, let's get into the tag. I'm going to be explaining each of the questions because if you haven't watched the show, you won't understand the correlation between the two things. So I'm gonna tell you what the thing is, and then tell you what the question is, and it's gonna be fun, okay? And hopefully it won't take forever, because I want people to do this. So question 1 is Kieren Walker. So Kieren Walker is the main character, and he suffers from a mental illness. So question number 1 is, name a book where the main character has a mental illness. And for that, I went with I Wish You All the Best. So Ben has anxiety and depression and goes to therapy and deals with that, and it's really good, and I love it. If you're wondering more of a general plot synopsis, it is about Ben, who is kicked out of their house for being non-binary, and they have to rekindle their relationship with their sister, and it's really good, okay? It's real good. Next is Simon Monroe. So Simon is one of my favorite characters. He's introduced in the 2nd season, and he has a tragic backstory. So the second question is, name a character with a tragic backstory. I went with the one and only Kaz Brecker from Six of Crows. If you've read Six of Crows, you know the tragic backstory. If you have not read Six of Crows, I'm not going to tell you, because you'll find out once you read Six of Crows. Six of Crows, by the way, is about 6 people trying to pull off an impossible heist. That's a pretty good summary, and I'm trying to keep this video short. So if you want the backstory, go read Six of Crows. Next is Amy Dyer, who is the purest of all beings. She's just so optimistic and happy and lovely, and I would die for her, honestly. So her question is, name the most optimistic pure being you can think of. I went with Biddy from Check Please. Obviously, as you can see, he just wants to bake his pies and play hockey and be good for the team. He's doing his best, and he's just always so optimistic and is always trying his best, and he's baking pies. He's just the best. I love him. He's such a pure being, and I could have gone with Charlie or Nick from Heartstopper because they are also pure beings, but I felt like Biddy was the more optimistic of them, so Biddy it is. Next is BDFF, which stands for Best Dead Friends Forever. Amy coined this term. Need I say more? The question is to name 2 or more characters from different book series that you think would be best friends. For that, I am going with Andrew from All for the Game and Ronan from the Raven Cycle. So I feel like these 2 would be the best of bros, because they're really similar, and I feel like they would complement each other. I feel like they would just get along so well. They're very similar characters anyway. They don't have necessarily the same interests, but they're similar characters, and I feel like they would get along well. And yeah, I want to see fan fiction of these 2 getting relationship advice from each other, because I just think that would be great. So somebody write that, please. The next one is Rotter. Rotter is the derogatory term for the undead and in the flesh. And so for this question, I went with name a book that deals with discrimination. And for that, I chose the Half Bad series. The Half Bad series deals with discrimination against, like, black witches, because there's black witches and there's white witches, and the white witches hate the black witches, so discrimination. It's about the character Nathan, who is half white witch, half black witch, and everybody hates him because he's half black witch, and everybody hates black witches. So, discrimination, it's pretty obvious in there. Next is PDS, which stands for partially deceased syndrome. So the living call the undead PDS sufferers, or partially deceased syndrome sufferers. They do this because they are treated with neurotriptyline, which is a medication used in the show. And so once the undead are treated with the neurotriptyline and become PDS sufferers, they are cool with them, but not really, because there's still discrimination and shit. But anyway, so with that being said, the question is a character that you changed your mind about. And so it could be a character that you loved and then hated, or hated and then loved. And mine is hated and then loved. And it's Andrew Minyard, guys. Fucking love him. He was a dick at first, and I hated him. I was like, what the? You are terrible. I do not like you. And then it just, you got to learn more about him. I just was like, oh my god, I would die for you now. How did that happen? Next is First Risen, which is a prophecy in the second season. The First Risen is supposed to bring about the second rising. So when I came up with my question, I was like, oh, the Chosen One trope. So the question is, name a book with the Chosen One trope. I did not go with Harry Potter or Percy Jackson. I went with Dreadnought. So Dreadnought is about a trans girl who gets superpowers. And she gets, the superpowers. Her powers are just amazing. And she's supposed to be the new Dreadnought. And so, that's the Chosen One, but people don't like it, so that's where the conflict comes in. And it's really good. I need to read the second one, and you should read it if you haven't already, because it's by a trans woman, so it's its own voices, y'all. So you should go read it. It's very good. Next is Victus /ULA. So ULA stands for the Undead Liberation Army. As you might assume, they are pretty anti-living. And Victus is the pro-living party that are pretty anti-undead. They're both very extremists. So for my question, I was like, name a book that has extremists in it. And for that, I'm going with The Disasters. It has extremists in it. Am I going to tell you any more than that? No, because that would be a spoiler. And finally, we have Keaton Henson, who did most of the music for In the Flesh. I don't think he specifically did it for In the Flesh. I think he just made the music, and then In the Flesh took it and was like, can we use your songs? And he was like, yeah! So they used their songs. The main things are acoustic and sad. The question I went for is, name your favorite sad book. And I went with They Both Die in the End. And it's about these two guys who have 24 hours left to live, and they're just trying to make the most of it. So yeah, it's a really good book. If you haven't read it, I suggest it. It's very sad. But yeah, it's good. It's my favorite sad book. And Keaton Henson is my favorite sad artist. So if you haven't listened to Keaton Henson, you should go check him out. Anyway, that is the whole tag. Now I'm going to tag people, because I filmed this 3 separate times and forgot to tag people. So I'm going to tag people now, so I don't fucking forget and have to redo it. The first person I'm going to tag is Kaz over at Cats and Camera. Obviously, I was going to tag her. She helped me with the questions. Next person I'm going to tag is Graham Quigley, because I tag him in all of my videos. And then I'm also going to tag Erin over at Tomes and Tunes, because she's great. And I also think I tag her in all of my tag videos. And then last but not least, I'm gonna tag Taylor over at Page Screen Taylor, because, I don't know, she tagged me to do a tag once, and I want to return the favor. I think I already did, but I'm gonna do it again. So, yeah. I know for a fact that Kaz and Graham Quigley have both seen in the flesh, but I don't know about Aaron and Taylor, so we shall see. Maybe you guys will get a new show recommendation out of this. Before I ramble for too long, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.